Now when you open up PowerPoint for the first time, or any time for that matter, it always gives you the default slide here, which is the title slide, because assuming that you want to let everybody know what the title of your presentation is, including who's responsible for it. If it's a bad presentation, be sure to put your name here. No, I'm kidding. Okay, what I want to do is I want to be able to add additional slides down here besides the title slide. Maybe have other slides with charts and pictures and more bullet points. So to start adding slides to your presentation here, just come up here to the Home tab in the Slides group and click on, well, you've got two buttons here. You got the slide button and you have the new slide. It's an arrow. When you click on it, it gives you a little bit more detail what type of slides are out there. For example, I can come over here and select title and content, and then automatically inserts it, and it has it selected here, so that's the slide I'm on. Where I can come up here and click to add a title, down here and click and add text with bullet points. See these little shaded things in the background? We'll cover those later, but that's where you can go ahead and click on one of them to add clip art, pictures, tables, charts. It'll be fun. But before we do that, let me go ahead and continue here. You can add as many slides as you want by clicking on the new slide arrow and choosing others, like maybe even a blank slide. Maybe you want something completely blank and have your own design here. Now, the difference between this new slide arrow and that button is that when you click the button, it'll always duplicate the most recent slide you just added or the current slide that you have selected. So I'm on slide 3. If I click the new button, I go to slide 4. It's the same one. It's blank, right? No title. Let me come up here, click on slide 2. Go ahead and click on the button again. It adds another slide, so slide 2 and 3 are the same, and 4 and 5 are also the same, but different in that these are blank and those have titles and content. At least when you click on it, it gives you the option to add it over to the right. Another way of adding slides is if you go ahead, just like clicking on the new button, up here, this top button, not the new slide arrow. But if you go ahead and you click on one of these and you just hit enter on the keyboard, it adds another slide, the same one as the one you have selected. So 2, 3, and 4 are all the same. 5 and 6. Now if I go down to 6 and hit enter again, it adds 7. The same slide as the one that I had previously selected that I hit enter on the keyboard. So if you're getting out of control like me, you can come in here and select a slide and hit delete on the keyboard. Delete. Selected there. Delete. 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 Now I just have slide 1 and 2, and that's fine. Let's do one more slide here. I'm going to click on the arrow here for new slide, and let's do comparison, add that. So now we can add a title up at the top, add text there, and have a picture here, a graph, or an image, or just click here to add bullet points here, because every time you type it'll add a bullet point, and I'll show you that later on. Let's go ahead and hit enter and add the same slide. Because I have it selected over here, I hit enter and add the same slide or the same format. Now I have 4 slides. Now what if I made a mistake on adding an additional slide here and I didn't want this one where it has comparison, this bulleted side or this chart side over to this one? Well, instead of deleting it and adding the new slide again, you can actually change the layout of the slide. Just make sure you have it selected here so it's in orange. Then come up here on the Home tab in the Slides group and go to Layout, click on the drop down arrow. You can see its comparison. Now I can just go ahead and come over here and let's do to Content. So it gets rid of the headings above each text box here, and it just gives me the option to type in text or to go ahead and select one of these objects here. So just a simple little click on to show what kind of slide theme you're currently using, and then going ahead and just updating it by clicking on something else. Click off in a blank area to collapse that. And of course, if I made the mistake and I do want the comparison, I can always come up here on the quick access toolbar and hit the undo arrow. The shortcut key is Control Z, so if I hit undo, it'll go back to the previous version I selected before I made the change. And that's the same thing with text. If you come in here, type in anything, use the undo arrow. Whenever you get stuck, you want to back out, hit undo. And of course that will only work when you have the presentation open. If I save this and close out, open it back up, and I'm like, oh yeah, yesterday I made all these changes, let me undo that. The undo only works when you're currently working in the presentation, not when you close out and open it back up. It will not go back to earlier edits, just whatever you've edited while you're currently working in at that time. And before we go any further, I want to go ahead and save this presentation that we're working on. So let me click on the Save button, and let me go to my desktop, double click on the exercise folder, let's save it in here and call it Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel, get notified of the latest videos, and for only $2 a month, you can have access to all my Microsoft Office training videos.